There's been another change to the order of the wealthiest people in the world, and there's a new face on the list. This guy is not one of the well-known tech gurus, but an industrialist based in India, whose interests span a wide range of sectors, including ports and airports, power, media, and telecom. Who am I talking about? Do you want to find out? Well, stay tuned. The Indian industrialist that has joined the league of the world's richest guys is Gautam Adani. Just over a few years, the Indian industrialist has now moved up to the third spot on the list of world's richest people. Gautam Adani's parents weren't wealthy, but the family was able to live reasonably decent lives because his father had a modest textile business. Adani most likely picked up the basics of business and investment from his father. It is accurate to describe Adani as a self-made billionaire because he did not originate from an exceptionally affluent family. After all, he began with humble beginnings. He put in a lot of effort to build his business, devised astute business tactics, and eventually became India's richest person. Adani first achieved the status of a billionaire in the year 2008. Since then, Adani's wealth has grown dramatically over the years. In 2016, he was valued at about $3.5 billion. By the year 2021, he had surpassed the milestone of $50 billion. At the start of 2022, Forbes ranked Adani 14th richest person in the world. Still, he has quickly risen up the list over the past 9 months, first passing Mukesh Ambani in February to become the world's 5th richest man and the richest Asian. Within a few months, Adani made his debut as a centi-billionaire. A renewed tech sell-off has affected the fortunes of Bezos, as well as the fortunes of Amazon shares, which are down 26% this year. Adani ultimately overtook Bezos, knocking the Amazon founder down to the 3rd position. Adani is currently the 2nd richest person in the world. How did Adani amass his wealth? Adani had his first experience with business when he dropped out of school and moved to Mumbai to try his hand at diamond trading. In 1981, when he was still a teenager, he returned to his hometown to lend a hand to the business that his brother ran, which manufactured plastic films. As the business grew, expanding into international trade became the next logical step. Ironically, the turning point in Adani's career came not when he partnered with a global company, but rather when one of their partners withdrew from their joint venture. Adani Group and Cargill had reached an agreement to establish a salt farm in the Indian state of Gujarat's Mundra region, and they had even obtained permission to construct a port in order to ship the harvest's products. However, Cargill withdrew from the project, citing various reasons for doing so, including a disagreement over shareholding between the partners and activist rallies against the salt farms. This was around 1991, which was not long after India's economic liberalization had been put into motion. Despite the failure of the salt farm endeavor, the Adani Group was able to salvage over 3,000 acres of land, which served as the platform for the company's subsequent stage of expansion. In what would turn out to be a fortunate turn of events, Gujarat launched a trailblazing port strategy in 1995 that opened the doors to various private investments in the industry. At the time, Adani was rumored to be looking to move beyond trade and considering an entry into an assets-based firm. Port delays regularly disrupted the group's own trading business during their cargo clearance. Adani thought that this was the appropriate time to set up a port, so the Mundra Port Initiative was conceived and developed. As a result of this, Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone Limited, aka APSEZ, was eventually established. APSEZ is one of Adani Group's most important businesses and the largest commercial port operator in India. It is responsible for roughly 1/4 of the total cargo transportation. The port facilities are outfitted with the most recent cargo handling infrastructure, which is not only the greatest in its class, but can also handle the largest vessels that call on the Indian coastlines. The ports have the capacity to process a wide variety of cargo, including liquid cargo, dry cargo, and crude cargo. Adani Group also owns India's largest coal trader and thermal coal producer. The need for a continuous power supply by businesses that established themselves in the APSEZ initially sparked Adani's interest in the power generation industry. Earlier this this year, he made a significant stride into the cement industry following the acquisition of the cement division of the Swiss company Holcim for $10.5 billion. This firm is presently the second largest cement manufacturer in all of India. Also, Adani has shown an interest in the telecoms and media industries. Recently, he was successful in his bid for Telecom Spectrum, which was intended to provide 5G services to enterprises, including data centers. He is currently seeking to take over NDTV, New Delhi Television Limited, which is one of India's few remaining independent TV channels. As a result of recent investments that Adani has received from companies such as Total Energies SE and Warburg Pincus, the value of his company's shares has increased significantly, which has led to a significant increase in his personal net worth. In the past 10 years, the Adani Group has expanded at a breathtaking pace via organic growth and acquisitions of other businesses. As a consequence, the group now comprises 7 listed Adani Group businesses that operate in various industries, such as cement, ports, energy, and media. The stock of Adani Group has increased by more than 120% over the last month, with Adani Wilmar having an 87% gain during the same period. But what factors have contributed to this sharp increase in stock prices? The Russia-Ukraine conflict is the most obvious explanation. Yes, you heard that right. As a result of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, the supply of sunflower oil has been disrupted, and customers are turning to alternatives such as mustard and ground nut, soybean oil, and so on to satisfy their dietary needs. Also, Indonesia is the biggest producer and exporter of palm oil in the world, but the country has had to cut back on its exports in order to keep its domestic supply stable. Adani Wilmar Limited is in the business of producing edible oils and fats. The company sells a wide variety of edible oil goods in addition to specialized fats. Customers come from all around the world to Adani Wilmar. This company is in a great position to enhance its profitability and solidify its leadership position in the industry during the current fiscal year because of the ongoing increase in the price of oil. The Adani Group has been able to accomplish targets that initially looked impossible, thanks to the company's inclination to work on a massive scale. Adani Group pledged to make an investment of $70 billion in 2021 in order to become the largest renewable energy firm in the world. Solar Energy Corporation of India gave the world's largest solar award a year earlier. The award called for the installation of 8 GW of solar power over 60 months and required an expenditure of over $6 billion. Adani might have had so many successes over the years, but that doesn't mean they all came on a platter of gold. Adani's ventures into a variety of fields haven't been without the presence of controversy. Local residents' anger was sparked because of the demonstrations against the group's acquisition of the Carmichael mines in Australia. Because of this, the hashtag stopAbani movement was started. The hashtag stopAbani movement comprised thousands of people and community organizations acting to halt Indian billionaire Gautam Adani's plan to build the Carmichael coal mine in Queensland Galilee Basin. Since the Adani Group purchased the mine in 2010, this movement has engaged in various inventive acts to draw the attention of leaders and the general public to the negative impact of mining on the environment. In order to receive all necessary state clearances, the Adani Group needed to wait until 2019. Despite the fact that the protests had made it difficult for the organization to obtain loans at the magnitude that was first intended, Adani insisted that coal was the best option for power generation. The protests that took place in the area of the Carmichael mines were not the first ones that Adani has been confronted with. Even while the port of Mundra was being developed and after a thermal power plant was installed in the area, reports of environmental damage drew the ire of environmentalists and residents of the local area. These reports ranged from the impact on fishing to the pollution of local water bodies. Environmentalists and residents of the local area were outraged. Also, a Nordic pension fund withdrew its holdings in the group as a result of Adani's history of conducting business with a company with ties to the Myanmar military. After careful consideration, S&P decided to withdraw APSEZ Limited from the Dow Jones Sustainability Indices. Even though Adani has achieved a great deal, not everything he has worked on has turned into gold. He had a momentary interest in the retail industry as well as businesses that provide information technology services. However, the ideas had to be scrapped almost immediately because it was discovered that the amount of managerial time required would be significantly higher than that seen in the group's other operations. Apart from business challenges, Adani had a few incidents that almost claimed his life. Two notable attempts on Adani's life were in 1997 when he was kidnapped, and another in 2008 when terrorists attacked him. In 1997, he was kidnapped at gunpoint and held for a ransom of $1.5 million before being freed. The billionaire is reluctant to discuss the event, but he did say in an interview that the kidnapping was one of 2 or 3 very tragic things that had occurred in his life. The second incident happened in 2008. Adani was at a restaurant in the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel when terrorists overtook the hotel as part of a wider wave of attacks in Mumbai in 2008. He was only able to flee the building because soldiers flooded into it. These were near-death incidences that Adani was lucky to escape. There you have it, the story of Gautam Adani. What's your thoughts about the wealthy Indian businessman? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, then you should watch these 2 videos I made for you. You'll be glad you did.